The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So if only people that's scared are the oppressors, the only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. It's time for a change, got a boss up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution styles too late for an apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is in the end. Lock Josh silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down with some pressures attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the era zone. I'm a messenger prophet like HERU, backed by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful, sinful. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. Or kneels too late when the caps get pills. Don't believe in TC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red on my vision through sight. It's killer be killed whenever I fight. From above I be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. All the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' rid them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme, gimme, gimme. Push, 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 push. Step, step, step. Crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
I gotta trim it up a little bit, but you know, scissors, I gotta sharpen the scissors so we can get it you know. Yeah. Yo, I gotta send my Zelle, which go out to get my deposit back. Real shit. That ain't my 700, but yeah.
As a digital simulation,
see what they talking about.
To steal life. It is an anti-life program. It's moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life to a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit.
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work and left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no posse. Spola, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released from prison with this passion to speak of. I've been doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us.
That's one of my favorite joints right there, man. Out of hip hop,
a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching
See all the
almost
books, see the hand graphic.
moment.
Yeah.
And they're framing it to us as
I'm supposed to get out there
innovation,
today.
right? We should all be so excited
Back's
that this
still
is
singing.
happening. And I equate it to like the golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Nah, bro. Come on. Indigenous resistance. Warrior spirit.
Y'all see the moon now, Carl? Yeah. The moon is in a place I've never seen it in.
This is for my peoples.
But it ain't too far off, but then again it looks way off.
Too much hating. Too
And
much
they
faking.
spraying like they retarded.
Too much handshaking. Too much land taking. Too much manipulating. Too much you can, but you shaking. Too much of a friend, yet you stuck through Nathan. Complain too much instigating. Too much insinuating. You too much of an agent. Celebrities too, heavenly bodies got you stargazing. Dilated peoples, stark amazement. Top chart chasing, your heart racing. Spellbound, too much dark sayings. Am I saying too much? Am I paint can graffiti art? Spraying too much to spark in the dark basement day. Breaking too much, these monks operate through too much ego. Way too much for me, yo. Not with all the fake check-ins. Either you're from the soil or you're not. This ain't even a half. They've displaced you, engine. Replace you, engine. Erase you through paper. Genocide, engine, land session agreements. A fake space. View engine, change dates to purposely displace you, engine. X shouting, tax you on your own. Land engine, you a child, not a grown woman, a grown man engine. In fact, you black, you that person in all caps on them contracts. Legal fiction, non-living show. Damn, engine, how long will you let them debase you, deface you? Oh, an engine, no one is coming to save you. A great new world awaits you, engine. They intend to continue to rape and enslave you, bound to a remix of religion. A graven image that reset the same station. They played you, engine, the same unseen hand. You just wait, case, slay you, engine. But it's the return of the ancient ones. We back. Everything they own. Hold fast, let me get that. Now with that gift wrap. not with rhetoric. Chit chat, shit back, go back and forth on platforms for an itch or scratch. Rich that for a Kit Kat or a Big Mac. Temporary kid shipment that don't kiss back. Shit swag. We here to get our shit back. Restoration of what was overthrown. American engines, old organic gold, not provolone. Home alone, all foreigners gone. Shafati, Jew, Hebrew, Mush, Mason, Moorish, Cornerstone, fraternal orders of Forest Rome. You've no substantial foundation, flawless zone. Bottomless pit of broken promises, home through landlines or cordless phones. Lines lay lies aligned with constellations. Rocks cry out till the land, till the soil is gone and corn is grown. The war is on. My words won't. Show. With all foreigners off the land. That includes all you corporations, all you different nationalities. Anything that isn't American engine, you need to get the fuck on. We ain't playing this time. We understand exactly what y'all motherfuckers do.
Kichiwa.
Akichiwa.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's happening? I was just going through my mail, and it looks like they want to give me my deposit, which is, you know, should have been got it, but I need to pull it up and download it and see what they're talking about. Because, you know, Chinese people do funny stuff. Let's gotta see if I got, I don't know, American First got Zelle? I forget. I think it did. I think they started using it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get it in. We're gonna do a little reading. You know, let's say hi to everybody. Hello. Yeah, because everybody's high right now. We got to do a little T right here. Millennial, what's going on, sis? Hey, baby, go slaughter. Dev D, grand elevation, grand ascension, grand rising, all that beautiful stuff. T, okay, we got T, okay. Benji, what's going on, beloved? It's good to have y'all in here. I mailed you just now, Chief. Got distracted. Okay. Well, I'll look at it afterwards. But let me I want to first say, yeah, Marcus, man. Yo, appreciate that donation, beloved. All right. Appreciate it. I'm about to call this little Mexican. Don't help around if I go up there and spank anybody. You know what I mean? Sometimes they get beside themselves. They think all that hype about the cartels and all the killing like it means something to some of us. I am not the same. And maybe he didn't pay attention or he forgot. Some of the cats were there know it. But sometimes when you're working for like a goofy Chinese who don't know no better, right? And it's for a fiat that's worthless and they really don't know, and they think that everybody melon, and they don't know how to listen, but they listen. Sometimes you got to reiterate, and there's a way to do it that's very polite. You know what I mean? So I'm going to see if he's enlightened, because this ain't fake South America, Central America. Anyway, I'm going to see if he can handle some things. But yeah, anywho, we're going to read, first starting with, I say these things because, you know what, I don't know about all these little fake lifestyles people be living. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people they this and they that, and no. I'm going to share it with you because, like I said, aren't we revealing things on some dirty things being done? People, and people still don't get it. So they're going to keep running forward, running into the wall they're going to run into. I don't care if they run for 40 years, they're going to run into this wall. I don't care if they plot and plan with existential help, they're going to run into a wall. I can say this, and I say it because I can. All right? So sometimes people make poor decisions right when you may be thinking they're making the proper decision, okay? I'm trying to drink this stuff, man. I haven't drank it in a week or two. I think 3 since we've been here. I think the last time I drank it was probably like 4 days or 5 days before we left. Horse chestnut. It's good, but it's whew. So anyway, how you all doing? Y'all doing good? And like I said, Millennial, I'll check that out. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, I decided to shave off a little bit, you know what I mean? And my knife is so, I gotta take a stone or something, sharpen it so I can further, it's sharp, but it's not sharp enough, you know, when you're trimming. Anyway, they struck again and gave me the little gold ingot, dollar sign, whatever you want to call it. They can't help themselves, all right? And we're not making no excuses, apologies, or anything for them. They're just going to do what they're going to do, right? To me, it just tickles me that people are so, not marginally, but some people are just so, they're out there. They're gone. They're gone. You can't do nothing for them. You can't reel them back. You definitely can't save nothing. There's nothing to be saved, like outside of yourself. What was up? Where did Ganja go? You want to go inside? All right, check this out. Before I get to reading, we were talking a little earlier, and I said it's funny how even we buy frozen fruits and stuff like that. I want to get back to eating fruit completely, and I'm talking about a plethora. We're looking at avocado trees, this and that. We can use everybody's help, like I said, anybody's help or assistance. Yeah, I want y'all to really think about this. You know, I always make a statement. I always say, hey, look, man, if you don't get it from me, if this is low information, do the research, right? I always say this because it's imperative that you do it. Don't take my word for nothing, okay? But we can't make sense of individuals who want to better their lives. We know there's some little worthless fags, and I'm gonna say that as it is, who feel like they could sneak their way in, some little big Jew or whatever. I'm never gonna stop saying that because of the reality. I had one rabbi said, "Why are you being anti-Semitic? Because you're not of Shem." Oh, I had a friend tell the joke. He did a stand-up joke. He's from Texas, right? An old friend of mine from the Navy. He says, "Yeah, well, he's a Hebrew Israelite, but he's a stand-up comedian. You know, he did the little minor pork and bean, that, you know, that little thing, because that still goes on. People want to aspire to get to somewhere." And he said, "Yeah, you're not," because he's had that argument. He's been out there with the IUC and all those guys and all of, you know. And he says, "Yeah, you're of Shem, but you're not of Shem. You're of she, him, Shem." Bro, messed me up when he said me that, because I never would have thought of that. I am not saying that because I know some Jews, that's their identity. They want to wear it like that. Has nothing to do with what you think. Yet, they're not, as far as the narrative goes, they're not of, if you believe in Yafet, Ham, Aaron, and Shem, they're not of Shem. Okay? It's just reality. Their history lays down converts, even the things they wrote. But yet, I can't find an article that shows I forget the name of the individual who was talking to the Rockefellers, saying if they decide in 1942 to go at you, just call them anti-Semitic. It's just like if you say something like Kennedy's assassination, the CIA, based on the same individuals, came up with conspiracy theory, and that was the way to debunk, especially when you move on a two-party system. Just look into it yourself. Don't take my word for it. Yet, we are the true Shemitic people. I know I've alluded to other people being dynamically part of it because I have to. Y'all really don't have no idea who was born of Shem if you want to hold on to the narrative of the Talmud or the Torah, excuse me, the text from the Torah. If you want to hold on to that, then you must get involved. But what does it really mean, right? You know, it's a way to keep yourself in a position to control everything. Because you remember, Jews don't charge you, they don't loan to each other, especially with interest. That's why they're able to do the things they do. You know, even we, the loan sharks, the greasy, backstabbing individuals, we, most of the time, unless it's family or somebody we say we're close to who usually don't pay us back, we say, you know, just return it when you can. That has always been our way. Okay. Now, I've met people when I worked at St. Albans VA Hospital in Queens who'd be like, you know, to other people, you want to buy $20? Well, that's 25 on the head. And these people are taking it. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm talking about like 1999, 2000. You know, I'm like, I was like, and some of y'all know people like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank you, hon. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. But can y'all imagine being out here? Just a thought for those who can. I gotta keep driving this home and working side by side. It's not about meeting up, who's going to sleep with who and all that, and that's a world that we are not part of. You know, the relationship we need to have needs to be like the owl at night, nocturnal. It needs to be like the sun today. You know what I'm saying? Daylight. It needs to be not an occupation. It's not about no one can change anyone. We can all suggest things and we could look at those things and take what works for us until we come across a pattern that, you know, is meaningful. You know what I'm saying? It enlightens us in a better sight or view by others. We're getting close to building that platform, and it's going to be some work. I actually Googled last night. Let me pull it up right quick. I Googled because I was watching something and I dozed off and I woke up and I went ahead and said, let me see if it's on here. Because I'm looking at all kind of things, you know what I'm saying, that we can utilize. I'm not going to go all the way back. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up. But Home Depot, they have, I mean, because I worked there before, they have the Bobcat rentals. And yeah, I allowed it. And you can also get the attachments, skid steer rental, basics, you know what I'm saying? And you got to call them to get the numbers. And I remember when I used to be working over in lumber, hardware and all that, and people would come in to rent it, but like they have a 4-hour daily rental, weekly rental. So we're looking at daily rental. And then once you call, you can select the store to view the pricings and all that. So they're usually not too, it depends on what Bobcat you get. They're not too expensive. If you're going to be making trails and digging holes and all that kind of stuff. So what I did was I saved the phone number on here because I can't call on this platform. That way I can call over there. But the thing is to make sure that you're always close to where you're at, zip and all that kind of stuff. But they're not usually too expensive. You know, and we're gonna, like I said, it's about helping each other accomplish these things. Now, this is the Bobcat from Home Depot, and you can also get the backhoe, you know, the thing that goes, you put it on the front, you get the little thing in the back, lock it down, and you dig a hole. We don't need no major big one, but this is the stuff that I'm talking about. And it's good to have people who can utilize stuff like this. So I look at all these different things. But the thing is, I know that some of you will imagination when you see the platform, you see the walls going up. Some people would say, well, why don't you get a loan? Why don't you? I'm really doing that. You know, actually, on YouTube, there's like 3 videos I was looking at where people were taking pallets and building stuff. And this is the stuff, you gotta look at everything, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not about, we're not gonna make ugly. You know, I got ideas for the roofing. Some things I'm not gonna speak on the live about as far as what we're gonna build. Yet, I know people are like, is it really gonna be able to protect? You know what I'm saying? Like, if a nuclear war comes in, let me tell you something. I don't have an answer, because then that means I'm going to entice and entitle your fear. I'm not going to do that. If you can't find a comfortable position, put yourself in a better place of thought. And I ain't talking about like combat where you get to a place where you have no more ammo and you say, I'm gonna save the last one for me. And everything out there is just destruction and death. Like, there's no comfort for that. Because that's when you get, every time I look at cartels or this, that, and the other, and the people out there doing the most heinous things, doing hits or whatever, and then the hunt, and then they grab these people up, they have no fight. It's like, and let you know it's in everything that happens after. You know what I mean? I don't want to be graphic on here. For those who have seen some of the videos and stuff like that, you know what I'm talking about. Some of those who have seen things in real life, you know exactly where I'm coming from. Okay? I'm here because, and I'm doing what I'm doing because I know there are people who want to better themselves. I say grand ascension because you can ascend. There are very few that probably can do it by themselves, but the majority, you're going to have to do it together. And that means really, really, you know, hey guys, hey, let's, you know what I mean? You're going to be showed all kinds of things to accomplish and acquire something, but it takes everybody working together. Just like it takes all the bad people working together to fight one another or to build things that go against your grain. You got to remember, a lot of our people go missing. And this is facts. I am not saying this because I want to push away this or, you know, I want to upset or disturb anybody. But a lot of our melanated brothers and sisters from the dawn of time, you know, from our fall here in occupation in the late 17, 18, mid 18 and 1900s, the grave robbers were robbing our people, not light skin. They were robbing our ancestors' bodies. We've had numerous cases recently of individuals passing away in these hospitals, knowing they have relatives. And you can look it up. Chopping their bodies up and spreading them all throughout all the universities, colleges, and stuff like that to study and look at. For what? Don't they already know what's inside the body? What do they study to see? Who are the ones looking? How come people aren't raising a ruckus? Well, it's come to light in the last few weeks. Okay? Like, people didn't believe when I said the Tuskegee was ran by the Tuskegee experiment was ran by the WHO. People say, oh, you crazy. Now there's people all over TikTok and all this, that, and they're going, oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's real. Holy smack. You know, I heard it when I was in the military from a guy who served with me, whose great uncle was part of that. And he was younger than me. I was a supervisor. And I was like, say what? He's like, yeah, man, that's the WHO. You ever heard of them? I was like, no. I didn't even know WHO. I didn't know none of that. I'm serious. And I was like, what is all that? And when they started talking about the UN and this, that, and I started looking into the Gray and the Black Pope, Pepe, and all those individuals. Remember, I was one of the first ones probably that was talking about Pepe and, you know, and the Collins and stuff like that. And then there was a list about the families that was kind of like off. And then you start to realize, I want to say this here. I started hearing about the possibility, not my opinion, not my research, that there were certain human DNA being shot into certain for sale. I don't know if it's true. I'm not here to make up anything. Maybe some of you can find something. I don't care about it, but I just want to say that y'all like to shop and you like what you're eating, what you're doing. Imagine being together, having your cows that you've nurtured and those for consumption, those that you would consider more or less, you know, for dairy or whatever, having goats and a couple of horses, chicken coop where the chickens are normalized, not just these grotesque things that you see today. And that's what I'm pushing. Like, we can't cannibalize each other. That's our death. I want you to really listen. We cannot partake of the Soylent Green, and yet do the research. FD red, FD yellow, like, do the research, and come out of her. All right, because yeah, we eat sausages, steaks, beef, saucier. You know, like Martin, what's his name? Martin Downey Jr., you know, on Tropic Thunder. Oh, so I the saucier. I get them pork and pain here. You know what I'm saying? We get stuff was pretty good. So we had some ribs and some Spanish rice with beans last night. It was cooked kind of quick, but it was good, right, guys? It was decent, right? And together with magnificent, powerful women who know their place, that they're powerful, and magnificent, marvelous, strong men who know their place, the strength to protect that which means the most, the power that allows them to exist, and those who would come into their existence to continue that power and strength, the balance of it. Right now, we're not balanced. Let me go ahead and get a reading, because I can go on and on and on. And I'm not here to keep singing to the choir, or I mean, singing as if I'm the choir or whatever. I really want you to look at that, man. All right? I want you to really, really think about it. All right? But here, we're going to get into the science of the sacred secretion. He walked inside out. They can't stop the unstoppable achieve. There's nothing really important. It's all important. Always millennial. Our baby girl Slaughter said, T, what's up, baby bro? Yeah, he's in there reading. Anyway, let's go ahead and just get into this reading. Just real simple, quick readings, and then we're going to read a chapter, maybe two, of the Dome and Outer Space Projection. I'm grateful for everybody getting these books and reading and doing it. Keep sharing it, because we can reach many more people. For those who haven't, go ahead and purchase some more. Purchase some of these books and read to your family or your children, or get their imagination sparked, so they want to get involved and see if there's more before there's nothing. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. The science of the sacred secretion, the chemical, physiological, and astronomical explanations of internal alchemy by Victoria Lalu. Okay? And I know it might be seeming like I was running around and said, no, everything is with all that which may be perceived as maybe bad, or I know some people are like, well, I'm doing it and I'm fine. It's the long game. It's the long game. They've been playing the long game, studying and doing, and y'all haven't been playing the long game of countering. Not at all. So who's up, right? And have a place we can come together, we can manage, take care of bills together. Actually, you have more fiat. Even if, like, we're talking about going to Home Depot and getting some like night shift or, you know, part-time work, you know, just an extra little change. Together, man. I mean, and that's what they don't want, you know. Maybe some of you will get it. Maybe some of you just won't. Maybe you're just happy. I don't know what that is, but right where you're at. Okay, and I can dig it. So let's get into to gain heaven on earth with N, using the stars to guide the way. Now, the practice of reaching higher realms of being were further restricted during the Dark Ages. Let me say that again. The practice of reaching higher realms of being were further restricted during the Dark Ages. Remember I expressed what the Dark Ages were? It was all fall. Anybody believed to be using magic were labeled as witches and murdered. I asked y'all to look at the Salem witch trials, to go and look at the grave sites. Why are all the witches buried in black burial sites? Right, you know the story of the Haitian women there and the French soldiers losing their teeth, going mad, going blind, and dropping dead on the battlefield. With all of our knowledge and texts destroyed with them. This led the way for religious texts, such as the Bible, to be taken far more literally, to be believed as fact rather than a cosmic story of inner spirituality. And most of you by now are starting to realize, based on this book, The Power of Now, and a few other books that's out there, even the book of that, I told you I was going to read something from that. I'm not going to read it right now, later. That if you're looking outside of yourself, then how would you be able to look inside yourself and reinvest in your existence and naturally come into your truth or what you're really capable of? Now, a speculated theory is that the top families who seek control of the world actually sectioned this inhuman act of witch hunting as a way of ridding the world of ancient knowledge and hence gain more power. Facts. Stories from my family. That's why I know what I know. The final nail in the coffin for psychedelic freedom was struck during the 1960s. Now you got to remember, this is synthetic and a perversion. Okay? When Western governments banned the use of psychedelic drugs altogether, even for science purposes only. Yet, in some tribal civilizations, the use of powerful psychedelics, particularly plant-based DMT, and they didn't even say nothing about the toad. It's what it secretes, the toxins from what it eats, to enhance communication with the gods is still common. It is predominantly put to effect by shaman. Shamanism is the practice of healing, divination, and natural magic. They are seen as dimensional explorers who are able to access trance states, shapeshift into animals, and see the path options for the future. Excuse me. Enabling them to make decisions about when the group should move, hunt, or go to war. Does that sound familiar based on the 5 seasons? When the great cities, to move as one allocated to the grand cities to keep everything, and those in the outskirts of our star forts all over the world. Groups should move, hunt, or to go to war. Through the manipulation of sound vibration, breath, illusion, and sexual abstinence, the practitioners enter higher trance states. The shaman also watch over others whilst they experience the drug. Someone who's going to make sure that you're safe and it's practical, you're not giving too much, they know exactly what they're doing, and it's for you to truly have a want and a desire and it takes some eradicating the ignorance of the stalemate you're in. During these trips, people regularly interact with beings. Unsurprisingly, these beings are usually humanoids of varying colors and made of animal parts. Not always. I've done ayahuasca, peyote. I've done a few things, and let me tell you something. I got to walk and listen to things that moved and looked like us in shape, but there was no face. I didn't count fingers and toes. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? Messages from the gods are often received from angels or are of higher beings, such as shape-shifting entities that take the form of animals. Entities in this form are particularly renowned with the Egyptian and Hindu faith. That's where they're stopping, because they can't go no further. They can't give you no more than that. These messages also tend, there you go. These messages also tend to occur within the dream state, which occurs during sleep, deep meditation, or on a psychedelic trip. After millennia, these spirituality enhancing plant molecules that literally ingrained into our DNA and rewired the neuronal structure of the brain became a distant memory. However, the overwhelming need for meaningfully spiritual experiences still pulsates through our biological body, waiting to reawaken. And fortunately, this access to higher dimensions lies within us. Ergo, fluoridation of water, and other chemicals and heavy metals. Plants provide us with large hits of psychedelic molecules all at once. Yes, but we do not take them to reach these states, As conscious beings, we are able to work with nature, with our own biological rhythms and the astronomical energies to increase our ability to access and interact with these higher vibrating levels of existence. Like a video game, for early humans, these psychedelics may have acted like a cheat code, allowing the players to reach higher levels and achieve further advancing missions. However, this easy way out can become addictive if one is not careful. But now that we are better at playing the game, we no longer require the quick hit cheat codes. We can become conscious, aware of our awareness through natural means, through the sacred secretion. Stop. Let's get out the shower real quick. And as evidence in continuously increasing to prove this evolutionary theory, strict religious practitioners in the future may have to accept the fact that it was hallucinogens that modeled the way for all religions to follow, that their book of worship was written by communities of men who were able to access these other realities through drug manipulation, whether eternally produced via alchemy or not. It is by following the same mystical rules and concepts, preserving the sacred oil, that we aim to accessing the same knowledge and abilities. As hinted previously, it is believed that these abilities include telepathic communication, access to knowledge available in the ether energy, that's what that's all ether means, right around you, of the earth, and even psychokinesis, the ability to move physical objects. Now, stories of these in action include the miracles performed by Yeshua, accounts of distant monks who are able to use peculiar shapes, instruments to literally lift colossal stone objects, and even Saint Benedict, who could read the minds and telepathy track his followers. Although I in no way claim to have such powers, I do strongly believe that humans in the past did, and that enlightenment through strategies such as raising the Christ oil is one way of amplifying the plausibility of these. That said, I think it is also important to note that preserving Preserving of the eternal Christ is not the only way to achieve enlightenment. There are many, and one must seek the path that works for their own unique spirit. And I've only been relegating, and we read this before, relegating you to maybe a couple. There are so many. And I thought it important to rehash this again. So that way some of y'all can put away your emotions, your feelings, your downwittingness. You know what I mean? And I really hope that was something that might benefit y'all. Oh, Mac, what's going on, beloved? Could put most of the contract down for the land. Call y'all later. Wow. I could use your help. Work in Tucson, too. Oh, paint job in Tucson?
Yeah, he said he gonna call us. That's what he said in the chat above what you just read.
Okay. What you say, T? Sounds good, right? Okay. Okay, so let's carry on. All right, beloved. So, let's go ahead. The power of now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment. When we last left off, we talked about the event is called the end of the world. And that was contemporary as far as can you now see the deeper and wider significance of becoming present as the watcher of your mind? Whenever you watch the mind, you withdraw consciousness from mind forms, and it then becomes what we call the watcher or the witness. Consequently, the watcher, pure consciousness beyond form, becomes stronger, and the mental formations become weaker. When we talk about watching the mind, we are personalizing an event that is truly of cosmic significance. Through you, consciousness is awakening out of its dream of identification with form and withdrawing from form. This foreshadows, but is already part of, an event that is probably still in the distant future as far as chronological time is concerned. The event is called the end of the world, the delusion. Don't equate that with World War III and all that. Don't do that. Okay? Now, when consciousness frees itself from its identification, like I always say, you're more than your name. You're more than a birthday. You're more than a friggin' Social Security, all this nonsense. Because you got to remember, you were grafted and conditioned to make these things more important. And you know those who do the same thing when they're not. Well, I can sit there and say, well, they're important because of what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? But in the reality, they're plausible to be utilized as they're being used. But to make them significant, that's like bling, bling. And people walk around like this with the grills and everything on. Like, is you Messiah? You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. No disrespect, because I think it's quite beautiful they do that. But, okay? Our presence. This has already happened in a few individuals, and it seems destined to happen soon on a much larger scale. Although there is no absolute guarantee that it will happen. Most humans, okay, are still, fly if you keep, I'm not going to hurt you, but if you can get on about your business, most are still in the grip of the egoic mode of consciousness, identified with their mind and run by their mind. Now, if they do not free themselves from their mind in time, they will be destroyed by it. They will experience increasing confusion, conflict, violence, illness, despair, madness. Egoic mind has become like a sinking ship. If you don't get off, you will go down. That's ego, all right, with it. Now, the collective egoic mind is the most dangerously insane and destructive entity ever to inhabit this earth, this plane. What do you think will happen on this plane if a human consciousness remains unchanged? That means that inner turmoil, like, I got to be better than, and I talk about my history because it relinquished some of the youth, the younger ones, who've been on that path, maybe on it, and to see that, we can get to a place, but what did we really accomplish? Was ego involved in my powerlifting and my boxing? Of course it was. I was ignorant because I thought it was the way. I've pretty much stepped back. I understand the importance of exercise, though, by the term and the definition of it, which is a new term anyway, right? And so it makes sense. I was saying to T and my sister, because he was getting his workout, I was like, we all should be doing it together like a round robin. You know what I mean? Like everybody gets whatever they can. Nobody's here to outdo or underdo or whatever. Get the curls or hit the shoulders or whatever, right? Squats, who can, like a lot of us got bad knees, bro. Bad backs. Like, don't get it twisted. Shoulder issues. And the thing is, you don't have to be all crazy with heavy weights and all that. It's mental. You can do something to push the barrier, or you can do something that is more better for your condition. You dig what I'm saying? And you don't have to go crazy, because you got to remember, you're fighting a plethora of things, which we've already covered. Okay. Already, for most humans or sentients, or whatever you want to call yourselves, the only respite they find from their own minds is to occasionally revert to a level of consciousness. Excuse me, somebody just tried to call me because they're ignorant. But anyway, then they have somebody there watching, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, everyone does that. Anyway, occasionally revert to a level of consciousness below thought. Okay? Everyone does that every night during sleep, but this also happens to some extent through sex, alcohol, and other drugs that suppress excessive mind activity. If it weren't for alcohol, tranquilizer, antidepressants, as well as the illegal drugs, which are all consumed in vast quantities, the insanity of the human mind would become even more glaringly obvious than it is already. Okay? He states he believes that if deprived of their drugs, a large part of the population would become a danger to themselves and others. That's like when I was talking about some of the guys who would like drink like liters of vodka. I would go to the park to give them a bad lunch with fruits and a sandwich and some water and stuff, and they'd be like, "Hey, Red, hey, brother, they older, like 60, Vietnam and Korean War, Navajos." And I would right off the bat get them a little pint of vodka because I know that they're gonna die. There's just no way around it. Or they're going to be in a hospital with the polka dots. And it's not like I'm feeding. They've already done that. They have to be somewhere where they can actually get the help to wean off of it, because it's been destructive. There's no enlightenment, no nothing. It's whatever they have, it's there. There's no ascension. There's no anything, because it's been in vast quantities. That's the reason why I stopped drinking recently. I just says, you know what? It's fun. It just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Anyway, if deprived of their drugs, a large part of the population will become a danger to themselves and others. These drugs, of course, simply keep you stuck in dysfunction. Their widespread use only delays the breakdown of the old mind structures and the emergence of higher consciousness. While individual users may get some relief from the daily torture inflicted on them by their minds, they are prevented from generating enough conscious presence to rise above thought and so find true liberation or freedom. Now, falling back to a level of consciousness below mind, which is the pre-thinking level of our distant ancestors and of animals, mind you, and plants, is not an option for us. There is no way back. If the so-called human race is to survive, it will have to go on to the next level. You need to know, melanated brothers and sisters, no slight to others. You are just sentient, but you're not a hue of a man. You need to be reminded of this. And don't let the egoic nature of you run around arguing, debating people and slandering people. Yeah, well, I'm a man. You're just a hue of me. Don't do that, because there is no ascension. There is no, you placate. You are, that is like a drug. Ego is a destroying factor. Did you not pay attention? You know, every time you look at football, these sports with the groups all vying to win, who won? You ever look at the outcome? Look at the shooting not too long ago with, was that Detroit Lions and or whoever?
Right.
That is a commodity. They need that structure. And then most of, you see a lot of NFL players, and that's not saying NBA players, most of them gay, and it's all an act and a show. And many who have come out of there have been clarifying and relinquishing these facts. Anyway, it will have to go on the next stage. Wait, hold on. Falling back to a level of consciousness below mind, which is a pre-thinking level of our distant ancestors and of animals and plants, is not an option for us. There is no way back. If the human race is to survive, it will have to go on the next stage. Now, consciousness is evolving throughout the universe in billions of forms. So even if we didn't make it, this wouldn't matter on a cosmic scale. No gain in consciousness is ever lost, so it would simply express itself through some other form. But the very fact that I am speaking here and you are listening or reading this is a clear sign that the new consciousness is gaining a foothold on this terra firma. All right? So I hope y'all got that, and we'll be getting into personal in the next read of this. All right? I truly hope that made a little bit of sense, that you were able to get something from it. You know what I mean? Hey, what's that? Fred, what's going on, beloved? Great day to all from the cornfields of southern Indiana. What's going on? How you doing, brother? Excuse me. Okay, cool, brother. No, that was like I said, the call. You know what I'm saying? Line all of a sudden relevant. Oh, appreciate that, guys. So let's get into the dome. Let's get into the dome and outer space projection. Year 1728, The Last Reset. By Claudio Nocelli, no confusion. Nos confoundum. That's absolutely a beautiful picture, isn't it? I like his drawings. A little whitewashed, but it's his book. You dig? So last time we were reading Why Not Question the Current Model of the Universe, right? Chapter 5, The Importance of the Reinterpretation of Ancient Texts with the Invisible Dome. I think we read that. I'm not marking this, okay? We're actually, chapter 6. The theory that the Earth spins around the sun and not the Earth as the center of the universe. I know the moon is still there, but look at that spray.
Yep. Doing what they do.
The women in one voice, in one place, even separated, could cause all these things to fall out of the sky. But y'all don't know that. Anyway, let's go ahead. Oh, these flies are just, I can see, love to see me clean. Let me get a little bit of this lime water. See that do something. Whew, that was cold. So let's get into this. Again, chapter 6, the theory that the earth spins around the sun. The theory that the earth spins around the sun and not the earth as the center of the universe, the sun and the moon and all that, regardless of how many, okay? This theory was determined in the development of modern astronomy. But if we consider that the new humanity, or this new cycle, began in 1728, Post-reset, we can raise significant questions about the authenticity and sources of our scientific knowledge. Do I still have super chat? I don't know. I don't pay attention to this stuff. So it is okay, cool. Anyway, knowledge, especially in relation to the great, we can raise significant questions about the authenticity and sources of our scientific knowledge, especially in relation to the great scientists who were shaping this theory before that year. And some of you know the names. Scientists like Copernicus, Galileo, and Kepler had already established before the 1728 reset. You've been reading that Flatlanders, right? Aren't you like, whoa, thinking like T, right? like you can see so much of the travesty and the lies. Now, the basis of this theory, however, it is highly probable that it was another manipulation imposed. Again, probably, all right, it is highly probable that it was another manipulation. Appreciate that, Olmec. All right, imposed by the same colonizers. All right, since the new humanity born conditioned under the new IDP from the beginning was going to have great difficulties to reach the truth about its own environment. Now, these theories and reinterpretations by the custodians, again, these theories and reinterpretations by the custodians aren't no space beings, could be adapted to the new narrative of the imposed universe. After the last reset, the process of human re-education may have included the selective reintroduction of scientific theories that supported the colonizers' imposed worldview by including this way of looking at the universe and reinforcing the notion of a vast impersonal universe. Scientific, thank you, Millennial Hun, universe, scientific texts and publications could also be altered or even eliminated if they did not match the impact they sought. Now, my apologies. Now, the existence and contributions of figures such as Newton, who had published most of his influential works before 1728 now, may need to be critically reevaluated. Were their legacies really co-opted or reconstructed to serve this new configuration of the post-recessionary custodial system, or did they really exist? Ergo, when we get into the time of the Renaissance, the first one, remember? Think about that. You know what I mean? The idea of fostering human insignificance in this last cycle was far more important than any other dogma and was carried forward relentlessly now from 1728 to the present date, creating and reinforcing the systems that are carried forward today as well. Let me read that again. The idea of fostering human insignificance in this last cycle was far more important than any other dogma and was carried forward relentlessly from 1728 to the present date, creating and reinforcing the systems that are carried forward today as well. Now, critically considering history also puts under the magnifying glass the great scientific minds that shaped our minds. A closer examination of their lives and writings may reveal connections to alchemy, magic, and hermeticism that are worth mentioning. Okay. I guess I must have flew in there and peeved them off a little bit. Not me. Okay. Newton, despite his fame as the father of modern physics, devoted much of his life to the study of alchemy. It is estimated that he wrote over 1 million words on this subject. Now, a little known facet of his life that was meticulously hidden or minimized until the supposed 20th century. Supposed 20th century. 1,000 years at it. His interest in and obsession with the transformation of metals can be seen as a metaphorical parallel to the transformation of the world view through his well-known theories. It is also known that he had studied biblical chronology and prophecies, showing a fusion of his religious and scientific beliefs that could be interpreted as a search for divine order in the cosmos, influenced by Hermetic ideals. You dig what I'm saying? Now, Kepler, oh, you know his name, is also known for his contributions to science, the laws of planetary motion, but he was also an avid astrologer and advocate of mystical cosmic harmonies that he related directly to his astronomical work. Now, his famous phrase, geometry is one and eternal shining in the mind of God, reflects his belief in an ordered and mathematically predestined cosmos, ideas that resonated with the Hermetic philosophy of as above, so below. And I keep telling you all, as above, as below. Let me read something. Let me pull this out right quick, if y'all don't mind. Oops. I got a notification. It just messed me all up. Excuse me. Now, hermetically, when we look at how it's utilized, when we say mathematically predestined cosmos, ideas that resonated with the Hermetic philosophy of. Now, hermetically, first of all, it is as an adverb, in a way that is completely airtight, hermetically sealed windows, in a way that is insulated. Now, let's go and pull up, excuse me. Because we already saw hermetically, and we want to go down here and look at Hermetic philosophy. First of all, Hermetic meaning, right? Of a seal or closure, complete and airtight, a hermetic seal that ensures perfect waterproofing, relating to an ancient occult tradition encompassing alchemy, astrology, the theosophy. Some saw in the Hermetic text an anticipation of Christianity, something that was not before, did not exist, existing or coming into existence. Okay, and let's do this one. Hermeticism is a philosophical and religious tradition that combines esoteric knowledge with spiritual ideas and a belief in a higher power. Do I have one look outside themselves? Origin. Hermeticism is attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a figure that combines the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Now, the principles. Hermeticism is based on 7 principles, including mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. Cosmology. Hermeticism is a dualistic faith that views the body as antagonistic to the soul. And with the beliefs, check this out, Hermeticists believe that opposites are identical in nature but differ in degree, that extremes meet, and that all truths are but half-truths. They also believe in an optimistic view of God, and that the cosmos is a beautiful creation in the image of God. Yeah, what God? We're not here to talk about that, no religion. Now, influence. Hermeticism has influenced many mystical and occult traditions, and was brought into Greek culture and the Renaissance period. Let's stop with the Greek culture. Okay, made up. The Renaissance period. And the writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, often called the Hermetica, were produced over many centuries from around 300 BCE to 1200 CE. The 7 Hermetic principles were compiled into a book called the Kybalion in the early 20th century. You know me? I kind of do. You can download the Kybalion PDF, all right? A study of Hermetism, okay? And you can also purchase the book anywhere from the Kybalion, A Study of Hermeticism for $419, but audible.com, or you can purchase the Century Edition, the Kybalion Century Edition from Amazon for $21.60, and thriftbooks.com, which I'll probably get it for $8.42. I don't mess with Etsy. But you can also get the Emerald Tablet of Hermes and the Kybalion for $23.21. I'm going to purchase 2 of them, but I just thought that I would share that with you guys, okay? And if you want to know what they look like, all right? Let's see if we can pull it up and see if we can get a good view here. I know it's no light, and I don't want to be in the sun's right there behind, but I know it sucks. And this thing doesn't focus. A15 is not a good phone. It's new. Don't purchase it. It's garbage. All right? Let's get back to the book. Excuse me. Hey, Carrie. What's up, Mama? How you doing? Okay. All right. So here. His work, Harmonicas Mundi, is a treatise linking music, mathematics, physics, astrology, and astronomy, showing his perspective of an interconnected universe, a vision that is essentially magical and hermetic. Well, the work of Harmonics Mundi, we are already aware from what we've gathered and study, right, and read, that music, mathematics, physics, so-called astrology, and astronomy is all based on patterns of frequencies. A lot of you want to believe in the projected dome, right? As a projected image, right? The things that we see. You know that the atom splitting is not about just light. It's about, like the oscilloscope, it's the frequency, it's the instant, boom, gives you that maybe a narrative of the Big Bang, right? Yet it is waves, right? What is music? Waves, right? What is sound? Waves, right? What is water? Ripples, waves, right? What is it? All what? It's all living, right? It's frequency, right? It's how they're able to manipulate certain things when they say seed clouding, things that were never required or permissible or needed. It's not that it's new, okay? It's all harmonics. Now, showing his perspective of an interconnected universe, a vision that is essentially magical and hermetic. Now, Galilei, although a great proponent of theory, his relationship with the Catholic Church and his esoteric studies are often overlooked. His confrontation with the church could be reinterpreted not only as a struggle between science and religion, but also as a conflict between different esoteric interpretations of the universe. Isn't it funny that they still push the church? I'm not bashing him. And what have they been doing? They have been using the same, our energy, everything, our truths, hiding it from us and utilizing it and becoming more darker and perverse. Now, could be reinterpreted not only as a struggle between science and religion, but also as a conflict between different esoteric interpretations of the universe. There is evidence that Galileo was deeply interested in other mystical texts which may have influenced his interpretation and presentation of the solar system. The solar system, y'all know what that is, right? Which would give you, he's just got you an art rendition. We don't know who it's from. If he's paying somebody to do it, it doesn't matter. It gives you a little eye candy, all right? Besides the whitewashing. Now, chapter 7, social manipulation. We're going to go ahead and go over this. And it's a short read, and we'll leave simulated outer space alone until tomorrow. Now, excuse me. Not only do the media reinforce, this is chapter 7, social manipulation. Not only does or do the media reinforce this idea so that it is never questioned, but the mechanisms used can be even more aggressive. The consistent narratives about this outer space that we live projecting, analyzing, and continuously exploring the images that leave no doubt about, oh my goodness, will you just go on about your business? It's cool, I'm not going to hurt you. Don't mean you can land anywhere you want. I guess they can, can't they? Leave no doubt about everything that happens in the absolute remoteness of our home. Stories of new discoveries, especially of Earth-like planets that seem to exist revolving around huge suns, keep us away from any alternative thinking. What do y'all think? You agree? The use of advanced simulation graphics, this technology provided by the custodians for many years, is the way they represent planets, galaxies, and different phenomena. Coincidentally, resembles the stars that appear in our night skies. Also simulated by the invisible dome. In this way, any discussion is left out of modern science and is not even taken into account because it's tangible. They give you words. You accepted them. They taught you. They reprobate. Repeatedly beat it into your head. So you look up, there's the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper. There's Pegasus, Orion. There, you know what I'm saying? There's the Milky Way. Okay. Now, the use of advanced simulation graphics, this technology provided by the custodians for many years, is the way they represent planets, galaxies, and different phenomena. Coincidentally resembles the stars that appear in our night skies. Also simulated by the invisible dome. In this way, any discussion is left out of modern science and is not even taken into account. Now, rocket launches and other space events by the big agencies cannot be discussed, as they also reinforce the idea of the vast universe, although the latter could also take place towards other fields of study. Excuse me. As it is known that, and you know that the CIA and all them answer to they answer to this NASA, right? Which is from the word nasab, which means to deceive. The big agencies are very interested in the Antarctic area and carry out their big projects and studies of different kinds. It is perhaps another manipulation around outer space, or are some missions carried out outside the first dome. Perhaps then some agencies have reached what they consider to be planets or planes, that is, in reality, are simply lands behind the South Pole or ice walls, and some of their images may be part of lands far from ours, but not up, but towards the famous barrier membrane divide. What is that? So we'll give you a cluster idea. So let's say I have a whole bunch of domes, a whole bunch of Earths, whole conquered or whatever, and the manipulation going on, and the division, divisory, and all the wars being fought, mitigate destruction, to redo destruction, to find a way to get through the greater dome that nobody knows about, the greater space. What can it be, right? Okay. Now, the creation of great heroes that revolve around astronauts or scientists are frequently carried out, especially always emphasizing their bravery, and are reinforced with great movies played by well-known celebrities. The exception, in parentheses, In parentheses, the obsession with celebrities is also another point to analyze and is related to the feeling of insignificance that shapes the simulated outer space. This generates absolute motivation and inspiration for the observer to engage with science from afar and always in parallel with its theories, as long as his thinking is limited and controlled. It is a common it is, excuse me, as common as hearing a child say, "When I grow up, I want to be an astronaut." The conditioning is strong. This may also discourage in a general way to develop critical opinions on topics such as space exploration. I just heard a couple of Space Force individuals say, "I thought we were going to learn to fly spaceships and be in outer space." Now, the less informed, the easier it is to mold. Check this out. In parentheses, at least as long as the only constant information is always towards simulated outer space. Who would want to be against what are considered great minds? If I tell you Reverend Thomas Hickleby is the leader of your sect in your neighborhood, you will accept him as your leader. Well, the children hear that and they're going, "Mama, is Thomas Hickleby the..." Well, yes, baby. We don't want to go against the grain. And then 3 generations from that child, all the reverends are leaders. Now, to do so is to completely banish oneself from society, as most would consider it part of our pure ignorance. This outer space education perpetuates itself and will continue to do so for years to come and will be accepted as such. I hope y'all enjoyed the read. Give you a little, do some research, see what you find. I'm not saying anything's a fact or not. Not about any of that. Okay? Carrie, yeah. Carrie, it's good to have you in here again. Absolutely agree. Millennials best. Talk about it, baby girl. Thank you, baby girl Slaughter. Just want to read your notes. So I appreciate it. The stars are just frequencies of light reflected from the outer space of land. Possibly. I could not deny. The sky is a projection. Maybe. Maybe. Anything's plausible. Let's critical think before we start blurting out a lot of stuff. Let's put things together. Allow the pieces to come together. Allow yourself to see. That's why it was important for me to read the psychedelics and everything else. Don't take things on initial. All right? Be the repository of responsiveness and responsibility to those responses. So therefore you have a good repository that you can look at and you can cross-reference, and then maybe whatever's meant for you. Okay? You dig what I'm saying? Anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to a foodie like me. I'm actually hungry. And again, like I said, I appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, I enjoy reading more than anything. Some of y'all know that. And I like the path that I'm taking right now as far as the expression of existence. Okay? That many will never be able to get to this. Or, you know what I mean? And I don't say this with joy or happiness. That many won't be able to cross this and be able to see some things. Excuse me for chopping up any these languages. I'm just reading them so that way you can hear how it sounds and you can go on and you can Google Translate or whatever. I want to keep this as open as possible. I think there's more to be found as a benefit out of that. We don't want to just trash people on the round theories and globe Earth. No, no, we're not saying that the Earth is not or is round. I have my fundamentals and narratives and knowledge of knowing and certain things. Yet, again, I'm not here to stoke or stroke, stoke like stoking the fire to get it going, or stroke to rub the ego um, of nothing. Um, what I think or what I know based on simple things that I've been allowed and permitted, with looking through a Saxon or this, that, and other, um, I stand where I stand. I don't have no knowledge within self that this Earth is some spinning ball whipping through space at some whatever whatever 1,000 miles and whatever. That's all right. And the fact that I know the sun based on what I know. The sun is not 93.6 million or 96.3 million miles away, nor is the moon. Yet that's based off what I know, steeped in my opinion. Not here to ridicule and lambast and, you know, curse and all that nonsense at those who are pushing it. Everything has its point of end, no matter what's done. The truth will always be known. It's energy, even by those who would choose to lie, if that's the case. I can't say no more than that. I can only relinquish that information. You know what I mean? To the book that you were reading. What? The Dome and Outer Space Projection by Claudio Naselli. I'll say that? Excuse me. Year 1728. The Last Reset. The other one was Eckhart Tolle. You know what I'm saying? The Power of Now, and then you already know the science of the sacred secretion. I like to read. You know what I'm saying? Outside, I see what's in plain view. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Love that book. Excellent read, Chief. I appreciate you. You did a pretty good one the other day yourself. All the time, actually. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. I got some books that nobody's seen or, that I packed away. It used to be in some of them stacks of books you always see in front of me, and the ones upstairs. And please, and I got some books that people have from Gunfighter Canyon that I got to get back. You know what I'm saying? One friend of mine that used to work there, a magnificent brother, a light-skinned brother, and he started his own computer. You know what I mean? And I know he's running with that. I've given him a number of books to read, and I know he's very articulate. He's originally from California, but he's conservative, and he worked there long enough to get his computer programming and building up and running. He is really, really deep, but he is because his parents, kind of the end of the hippie generation. He's very into the esoteric, the occult, like not the perverse things. He's not attempting to walk through or create something to walk into another realm. He's deep into reading things and allowing things to make sense as they should, and then to question things as if whether they're relative, if they make sense. That's why I say everything, regardless of what I'm reading, and regardless of what I stated before, do your own researches. It's not like we're here where we can cross-reference, read, and look at books and do things which would be more practical. So again, like I said, I appreciate you guys taking time to listen to me. I'm gonna go make me a turkey sandwich. Sit back for a minute, put that back brace on, and roll these car hoods up, put some shorts on, and see if I can bust out some of this sand. I keep telling myself to give a couple of days. We really should have been done last week, but whenever my back aches up, I can't ignore it because I've been known to go down. And everybody like, Ray, get up. I can't write yet. Let me get my breath. You know, that's kind of bad, ain't it? Yeah, but this is something else, bro. I gotta conserve for other purposes. So those times, man, my back will take me, and I would not like to be laying in some dang mud, hold myself up with 3 or 4 fingers, one knee down, talking about, y'all get my big 200-pound behind up out of this hole. I ain't attempting to do that to nobody. You hear me, God? Yeah, you know, they always say, well, let it happen to make it believe. Listen, and trust in me, the things do happen. Like, hey, you ain't gonna be rolling me up some muddy side of the hill talking about, come on, you can just take a shower. I gotta be able to stand up first, cuz. It goes away. It always happens. So it's just that, you know what I'm saying? I like to push, you know what I mean? When we're working, I like to really, really get in, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was saying that we need to work out together. Feel the soreness and the growth, eat good, and push one another to go further. Like I said, I push myself all in this existence. I push myself. And there's times when I gotta be a little more quaint, a little more responsibly respectful. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. I sound like I'm Jersey, New York. Anyway, again, exactly. No. Oh, there she go. Oh, she just had to come out. And she just had to go and doing that. Oh, that African jingle jangle. Saying that old African stuff. Well, you got to go and say. And you had to go and put in the sliding up the hill. Oh, it ain't nothing wrong with it. My skin tone, you know, I got vitiligo. Anyway, my skin tone right now is the same color as the mud. And if, no, let me stop. Uncle Ruckus, no relations. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Let me sign off. We'll get back to reading later on. All right. I'll bring out the Book of the Dead, and I'm gonna give you a little. I was gonna bring out the Emerald Tablet. I want to get the right one, the book. Anyway, we're gonna look at a couple of things. Don't worry, the other books are gonna be read. I know y'all want to hear some more lynching and all that stuff. Look, I need to change direction. I need to have y'all focus. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? All right. So anyway, appreciate y'all, beloved sisters, brothers. The Cash App still works. This right here, most time, like, you know, you gotta meet $100 in the balloon. That's why they mitigate and put in a little thing that, you know, that's what they do. The views went from thousands. I went back and I was like, yeah. They just sitting there because you ain't gonna do that. We gonna blow up everybody. Oh, please, like, go easy. And I made that statement before. They just need to let things be. So what should they hard-headed? You know what I mean? Anyway, I appreciate y'all again, beloved sisters, magnificent, strong brothers. Protect them. I'll see y'all a little later. All right. Anyway, I'm getting notifications now. I can't even end the freaking thing. They just, because every you tap on it, it pulls up. Like, get out of here. All right, there we go.